Yes, well, Cooper is, back in charge of the task force after some wrinkles, as it were. Of course, last year dealt with Liz as so to speak, her resurrection and being worked back into the task force. Of course, we see the dismantling of Reddington's whole system of informants and his ability to get inside. So that affects, obviously, the task force. It is implied that we have a new FBI director. Whoever that is wants results, and with Reddington being so compromised, there's some question as to whether he can deliver and whether, therefore, if this task force is of any use at all. So I think Cooper's feeling the pressure personally, and I think he also maintains a reliance, almost a kind of codependency with Reddington. So, and with Liz, I think that's come to be his family, so to speak, in light of the fact that he and his wife, insofar as I know at least, are still separated, or whatever they are, working it out. But I think he has substituted the efficacy and the legitimacy of the task force with his own personal relevance. And so that's where I think he is. You know, to some extent, I look at Red's situation a little bit like the gentleman who founded Apple computer, Steve Jobs. You know, that he, at one point, he was the whiz kid, he created this amazing product, and then he was voted out by the board that, that had taken over, and then they asked him to come back. I think Red has that kind of adaptability. And, there's that old theory of adapt or die. And I believe that's true. I think Red, in some way, as in The Godfather, when they tried to hit Don Vito, when they came back, he came back with Michael Corleone as a kind of new thing. And I think that Red is smart enough, and I think capable enough, with his connections and his know-how, that this will actually redound to his benefit. I actually think that. I think he was going to have to make some shifts anyway in the kind of netherworld of wherever he inhabits, but I think it's going to turn out to be good that he has to do this. I absolutely think that Red will, there's an interesting thing. I think Red sees the beauty or sort of the genius in everyone. It reminds me, I used to be a school teacher, so there's this thing called Howard Gardner's multiple intelligences. That is, that everybody is a genius. They just have to figure out how. I think Red sees their potential, and in a way, he's sort of a kind of life coach to these very limited but brilliant people. He sees what they can do and how it can be used to his benefit, perhaps more quickly than they can, in spite of whatever their personal quirks may be. I think, from the FBI's point of view, whatever the relationship, blood or otherwise, between Liz and Red is secondary, tertiary even. We were looking for results, and I think that if anything, her continued association with the FBI will keep him involved. The attraction to the show is very much through Liz Keene. And I think she represents a kind of archetype. And I think that the fact that she is both extraordinarily sensitive and that she is very capable and smart, has a past that is checkered to some extent, has a kind of unknown heritage and all of these things. She's trying to figure herself out from her very deepest roots. I think that with her as a conduit, we get to have this world of intrigue and this world of action with it. And as I've said from the beginning, I think that the three ingredients to the show that make it very watchable is the acting, the intrigue, and the action. And I think the action is driven by this mystery. I think the intrigue is by its very nature the mystery, but it also lets us in as a portal to these very interesting personalities. People who are representative of things other than small little characters who are functionaries. I think that they're archetypical. I think that they are prototypes in some way. The nerd, the whiz kid, the evil genius. They're almost stock characters in some way in a very modern, postmodern world. And so I think that that's where the acting comes in, and we've found some very capable actors.